This is an interesting turn of events. Shreveport City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch is here in studio.
She kicked the door in.
But in a delicate and dainty ladylike way.
Yes, she did.
Okay,
I'm joking.
So I'm just going to like kind of set this up. And then I'm going to let you two BFFs hash this thing out.
Hang on a minute now.
You can handle this. Basically, you two have been somewhat verbally at odds over the last couple of days over the fallout from the city council vote for the $10,000 for, her name was Tanisha Morris, and the Shreveport Urban Film Festival.
Right.
And a couple of texts from Ms. Lynch that you kind of rubbed you the wrong way. You may have taken offense to, and a couple of things that Aaron said back on the radio that Miss Stephanie maybe kind of said, "What the hell are you talking about?" So you're both here. You're both in the same room.
And you put us close together, too.
You're sitting next to each other.
This could turn into Springer.
So who would like to go first? Who has the first question and or the first statement about what has happened?
Well, I just came by to give Robin, Aaron. I don't even know your name.
You'd be amazed how many people call me either Robin or Roger. Okay? For the next 4 or 5 minutes, Robin or Roger is not here. This is between you and Arnold down there on the end.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Well, I wasn't sure if we needed a group hug. I just wanted to just come by and, and see you. And
yeah, we have a mutual goal for what's best for Shreveport. I think that would be very obvious. We're both very passionate. I took offense by the quote that says, "I'm squarely holding you all responsible for inciting a white mob against this young lady." And we're talking about the Urban Film Festival. If I incited a white mob, I hope you know me well enough to know that was not my intent. That's all I would hope you would know.
Okay.
So let me start here. So what was it about what we or Aaron said in reference to the Shreveport Urban Film Festival that motivated you to send that?
Well, I think the original arguments were saying that it was segregated, it was discriminatory. I don't know if you all said that, but that was certainly part of the discussion, which was not true. And that kind of took a life of its own, and then it morphed into the timetable and is there something else going on behind the scenes? Just a lot of innuendos. No one called me to ask me anything, but it's just a lot of misinformation that I think took a life of its own. And we know that there are certain...
Those were pretty strong words.
Well, there are certain people who, if you feed them red meat, they're on it all day.
You bet.
And I just thought that some of the conversation was like feeding red meat to a lion. And, that can be pretty dangerous at times, seriously.
And harmful. I get
harmful,
that. You bet.
Not just, to the person, but to the whole. And so when people get incited and they get upset about certain things, it does cause them to behave in bad ways.
Should this whole issue have been handled differently? If you had it to do over again, would you have done it differently?
If I had it to do over again, I think, and I said this morning, that the timetable was close, and partly that's my fault. I accept responsibility for that because it was my legislation. I wanted to be there. And so, had I been there 2 weeks before, I would have done it then. But I knew that was a meeting I was going to be at. And so I did the legislation then. But we've done legislation like that before, so I didn't think it was an issue, that big of an issue that couldn't be worked around. And so, I take responsibility for that. Because that was more from my schedule than it was, the timing of the event.
And I got emails and texts. I mean, if I could show you all of them, said, but we have to look at the city code, which prohibits spending money on anything that distinguishes between race, sex, gender, etc. How do you respond to that? This would have been city money spent on a festival that had exclusions.
Well, it had qualifications for entry, which basically said that at least the producer or the writer had to be an African American, which I thought in a multicultural society, and as I said, I'm the chair of the multicultural committee for the council, that it encouraged partnerships. I mean, I didn't see it any different than saying for a woman-owned business, it has to be owned by a woman 51% or more, because it encourages underrepresented groups and people to be more engaged and involved. To have those opportunities.
Have you done more discussing, because Robert said you didn't answer my question the other day about who told Tanisha Morris city funding could be available? Was that you?
Well, that's a part of what we do as legislators, is to educate the community on resources. And I said this morning, the city has supported every single festival, from neighborhood festivals to Red River Revel. I mean, from Highland to Southern Hills. This is what we do.
So you heard about her festival and told her, I could probably get you some city funding.
Well, I do reach out when I see that people are trying to do things positively. I've done it a zillion times, or people come to us as well. And
Did she come to you?
Well, I don't really want to, I don't think it's material.
Okay.
Really.
All right.
I don't think it's material. But that happens sometimes.
In wrapping up, Erin said yesterday after reading your texts that she was, in no specific order, she said she was nauseous, she said she was angry, and then she said she wanted to cry. Do you still feel nauseous? Do you still feel angry? Do you still want to cry?
You know, not really, because I know Stephanie's passionate, and sometimes people will say things that when you put it in a text and you read it, it may not be what she would have said to me face to face, but I understand her point, because when she explained it about the meat to the lions, I get that. I understand that. And that helped. That helped me a little bit. You know, it was harsh. We probably said some harsh things too, and I get that, and I understand.
But
what do you think about, pardon me, Miss Stephanie, once again, what do you think about her coming in here this morning? What do you think that says?
That she cared. She wanted to clear the air, I guess. I would assume.
Yes.
I would assume
absolutely.
so. Because I, like I said from jump, all these public officials and all that I deal with, and my phone goes off all morning. I have great respect, because they're not getting rich doing what they're doing. And they spend a lot of their time and a lot of their off hours from their regular jobs doing this, and they're not getting. So I have a lot of respect and admiration for them. And I think she knows that. I would hope, anyway. And I think it's mutual in a lot of the cases. So that's kind of where we are. I hope.
Look, group hug.